Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from Speed Gaming. Sorry we're getting on to you a little bit late for this race. Had a few technical difficulties, but hopefully everybody's doing well here. We have ourselves a Week 6 spoiler log co-pilot key sanity race here between Sicknasty and Teto here. I am Bandman25. I am joined by the wonderful, fabulous Mind of Me. How you doing today?
I'm great, Bandman, and yeah, we do apologize for the delay, but we are fast underway in this spoiler log race between Feline Paralysis, represented by Sicknasty, piloted by Ursula, and Major Mistakes, represented by Teto, piloted by Alex Hacks. Bandman, why don't you tell us a little bit about this week and what this mode entails?
Yeah, Key Sanity is and spoiler log tournament basically sounds exactly what it is. We have each runner. Each runner does have a co-pilot. That co-pilot has access to what we call a spoiler log. That spoiler log has over 216 locations, and it tells us everything that is in this video game between what is a pendant, what is a crystal, what is our 5-6. It tells us everything we're looking for, and our pilots must figure out that route to get this game done as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. It's a incredible challenge because oftentimes the runners are running on a low percent. They're going to get the bare minimum that they need to complete the seed. So they're not going to pick up a lot of extra bottles or heart containers or possibly even mails. And it's also a challenge because you're relying on direction from somebody else. You're just going on and your co-pilot is telling you where the important chests are and what you may or may not need. And so you're relying on their parsing of that spoiler log.
Yeah, and so far, I mean, here we are only about 3.5 minutes so far. The only thing we've seen so far is bottles, some bombs. We do have a glove that both runners have picked up here in Blind Hideout. So definitely a good start so far of getting mobility here around Kakariko and the full world of Hyrule.
There was also a bombos in the well, and it looks like we found both a big key and a small key to pod, as well as a lamp. So with that glove and lamp, we've got Dark World access. Looks like Sicknasty did pick up a bottle and turn that into the sick kid for some money. And it looks like Teto is at Zora money. We may be seeing a trip to the fish.
Yeah, this race right now, with the runners right now, they're probably just going through some of their normal Kakariko checks, South World checks, trying to get their hearts and money figured out. Give a few minutes here for the pilots here to figure out where they need to go next. So I think Zora will be, with their money, be an important stop on our trip here.
All right, looks like we're picking up a small key to Skull Woods here in the dam, as well as the flooded item is the ice rod. We may be looking at a crystal turtle rod.
Actually, looking here at the beginning of the spoiler log, it looks like our pendants are going to be Desert Palace, Skull Woods, and Turtle Rock, with Desert Palace being our green pendant. And then our 5-6 crystals will be Ice Palace and Dark Pod. So very interesting mix up there.
All right, interesting grabbing that ice rod. That might just be a nice early game weapon. Does kill, mini mold worms, but you need some magic in order to handle that. So we see dueling bomb strats here in mini moldworm.
Yeah, you gotta be careful on those bombs there. You don't want to be missing too many times here. Looks like picked up a shovel there, and some powder. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe we've got some fetch quests in our future here.
Okay, a good pair of fetch quests. And yeah, we just got another, just for people just coming in, we'll have another recap of this mode. The spoiler log is the list of all the items and where they're located in the seed. So the pilots, the runners are the pilot, and their co-pilot, who is their teammate, get that spoiler log on go. So the runners are being directed by their co-pilots to tell them where the important items are, which chests to open, which chests to leave. It's very stressful, it's very difficult, and it's a lot of fun though too. It's a great way to have some time and communicate. Sicknasty is being piloted by his teammate Ursula, and Teto is being piloted by his teammate Alex Hax.
Both runners there managing to find the hammer in Ice Rod Cave. Definitely going to need that one here throughout this race.
Absolutely, hammer 100% required. So that's a neat thing. But we're finally getting a little bit of divergence here. That's the one fun thing, especially with these studyless period spoiler log races, is that you don't have time to plan out that ideal route. The co-pilot is furiously looking over the map, trying to decide which way is the best way to go, and you don't know. So when you see this kind of divergence, this is the kind of thing that the seed can be built around.
Ooh, find a moon pearl there from our uncle. Definitely going to need that one. Hopefully, Sicknasty will be making that move here shortly.
Oh, and that looks like that was a case of the co-pilot seeing one thing but then meaning another. I think Ursula intended for Sicknasty to grab that moon pearl from Uncle, but might have misread which chest it was in.
Yeah, if you've never seen a spoiler log, you can definitely misread a few items. It's why a lot of these co-pilots are very in tune with this game. If you look closely at it, you'll see one that's easy to mix up between the big key chest and the big chest. Those are easy to mix up, as well as many other things when it comes to all the different items.
And some of the things in the spoiler log are not entirely intuitive. Like, for instance, the order of the items. Like, normally here in Hyrule Castle, you'll go and grab the Uncle chest and then the sewers, then you make your way through the castle. But it's not necessarily ordered that way in the spoiler log. It's usually actually ordered in alphabetical order, so it's not entirely what you're used to.
Yeah, I was looking at that the other day, and definitely threw me off, because when I was trying to find what was on the ped, you would think it'd be called pedestal, but actually on the spoiler log, it's actually called the Master Sword pedestal. So, like, these runners definitely know what's going on.
Exactly. Even for something like lamp, it's called the lantern in the spoiler log. Moon pearl is one word. And yeah, so we're going to see a lot of things where, the co-pilot is going to go and send their runner on one particular thing, one particular route, and then might realize, oh no, you know what? We actually want to do this later. There is a more effective way to do this.
Yeah, when this game, with this version of the game, with as quick as it is, because most seeds usually are around an hour to hour 15 minutes, one small misrouting mistake could cost you the race. Ooh, Sicknasty finds his first sword.
Okay, so that was that divergence. Sicknasty finding that first sword. Very nice to have. Let's see why Teto has walked all the way over to Agina's.
Ooh, that's interesting. First bow there in Agina's cave.
All right, so with the bow, the hammer, the lamp, a pod small and a pod big, we could go and kill Helmasaur right now.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to have really early access here to pod. Probably want a few more keys before going in. A lot of the runners want to at least have 3 keys going into pod. Worst case scenario, want to have 4, depending on routing. So,
Exactly. But the fun thing with spoiler log is you may not need all those pod keys. If the only thing important in pod is getting that crystal off the boss, then 1 and 1 is all you need to get.
Yeah, that is very true.
And now that we see our Ice Palace is also a 5/6 crystal, all we would need is the Titan's Mitts to get that second 5/6 crystal.
Yeah, we found our hook shot there in Hype Cave, along with the big key there to Ice Palace. So it looks like Hype Cave was a little important. I wouldn't, unless there's something there in that Ice Palace big chest. So
It's also useful for routing around Ice Palace if you do not have enough keys or the Cane of Samaria.
yeah, and with the new icebreaker glitch, with that, the big key definitely the routing's a little bit easier on that. So it makes the big chest and the big key door a little bit more options if needed.
All right, and so Sicknasty gonna go and pick up his hook shot and that Ice Palace big key from Hype Cave, while Teto is coming up the mountain with the lamp, hammer, and hook shot. We'll be able to full clear Light Death Mountain as well as take a peek inside of Tower of Hera.
Yeah, definitely nice when you're able to complete most of Death Mountain. It'd be great if you could complete everything in one trip here, but you still need to find the Titan's Mist to do that.
Indeed, and we will have to see what is in Tower of Hera, but it looks like Tito was only interested in getting that save and quit spot.
Yeah, this early in the race when they don't have the flute, definitely great to get that mountain check so you don't have to worry about digging through those caves again.
That looked like it might have been that Tito got the save and quit spot, and his co-pilot Alex Hax may have decided, you know what, there is something else that we want to do on the mountain. Maybe those Titan's Mitts are available here in the Light World, and we see both of the runners heading over to Kakariko.
Yeah, I don't. We missed about the first 30 seconds of the race, but I don't think we've been into the Lost Woods yet. So there could be something there. But it looks like Sicknasty is making his way up the mountain. Going to get that old man check here.
Okay, so Sicknasty was mocking this way to the magic bat earlier. We do have that powder and hammer. There's obviously something important in here. What are you thinking, Bandman?
Right now, it wouldn't surprise me one bit to see the mitts, so that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it's the mitts.
All right, we will see if you are correct. We would need a couple of other big keys. There might be something nice up here. But there you go. Those were indeed the Titan's Mitts. So Tito goes. It's going to save back up to the mountain. We'll be able to clear it in one play.
Okay, just so we're clear, I did not know that that was where the glove was at. I didn't even dig that deep into the spoiler log. I'm just trying to think like how some of these runners are running, so.
All right, Tito about to make his way back into the Dark World. I'll have to see what kind of play this may be. This may be going over to Pod now.
Yeah, he could easily make that play. I'd be a little nervous, though, about going into Pod. Tito does not have the big key yet, so he couldn't go too far into the back of Pod, so.
All right, and we are getting Paradox K from Sicknasty. Does not want to grab those Titans first, but we get the Flippers from Paradox 2.
Yeah, definitely going to need those for both Swamp Palace. And I'm pretty sure, even though they would probably fake flipper, seems like that's been very common lately, is for a lot of the runners to fake flipper into ice. Oh, there we go. Speaking of another pod, small key there on Tito's side.
All right, 2 of 6 there. Let's see what's here in Paradox 5. A very important big key to Meyer.
Yeah, definitely going to need that one. No way around that one. Seems like a lot lately, too. I've seen at least one important item there in Misery Mire.
Alright, looks like Sicknasty is on his way back to the Magic Bat to get those Titan Smiths. And I imagine maybe we'll see a south route for Sicknasty. It could be possible, though. Thievestown is a crystal, however, we're still missing that Thievestown big.
Yeah, you definitely gotta hesitate when you're making your way into Thievestown for the back, because it seems like about out of every 10 races, about 6 times there's always something important in that big chest.
Not just the big chest, but all of the back is inaccessible without that Thievestown big key.
Yes, that is very true. Didn't even think of that one. I was thinking more of the small key than the big key.
Tito's paying off the monkey.
Yeah, and Sicknasty is picking up his second glove.
Alright, Teto is trying to be careful about how he wants to route through Pod here. With the bow and the hammer, it's really ideal if you want to save keys to not open up that middle door. If we need to open up all of the chests here in Pod, or open up all of the key doors, we would need 6 small keys. You can always avoid one by doing a hammer jump, and you can avoid another by just not opening up that middle door.
Yeah, that middle door is key to this whole dungeon. With Teto here now going over to the right, it's a long way around, but when you're short on keys, but you have the hammer, definitely probably the smart way to go.
And Sicknasty heading over into Skull Woods. This is a pendant. We don't have the fire rod, but there's obviously something here that Sicknasty is interested in. We'll have to see where that might be and what it is.
Well, I know one common thing is it seems like every time we get to see somebody drop in a pendant dungeon, definitely probably going to see more than one very important item throughout this in this dungeon here. So far, not finding a whole lot, but still has a lot more to go here.
Just a heart container and a compass so far. Looks like there might be something in the pinball room. And Teto gets his first bottle there from the mountain.
Yeah, that just wasn't any heart container there for Sicknasty. That was our Sank heart. So definitely good find here on Greenmail, making his way into Skull Woods.
Alright, getting another compass here. I think this might be a case where the spoiler log wasn't obvious. Now, this chest here is the compass chest, but that's the map chest. I wonder if Sicknasty is trying to find that vanilla big key chest, which is the one that requires the push block in the back, because there was nothing down any of those drop downs.
Yeah, and this here in Skullwood, it's very easy to get all these chests mixed up. We're always so used to doing certain routings, but unless you know where every specific map and compass and big key are at, definitely really easy to get those confused.
And Teto finds the flute in the basement of Pod. That's going to be required for Mire. It's also nice for some earlier access.
Yeah, definitely going to make travel around the world a little bit easier here for him when he's trying to get up and down the mountain, trying to get from the world wherever he's going.
And not doing hammer jump to get to the dark maze. I'm assuming there is nothing in the big chest or in that dark maze. And I believe he is going to go straight for the boss.
Yeah, for me, I know I've tried many times. I've not been so lucky on that hammer jump. And Sicknasty just found the most important big key of the game. He just found himself the Ganon's Tower big key there in Thievestown.
Absolutely. One of the things that makes spoiler log races much quicker is not only knowing where all the items are, but the fact that this is key sanity mode. Don't need to hunt for that Ganon's Tower big key. It was just right there in Thievestown. I'll have to see if there's anything else that Sicknasty picks up on this south route to the Dark World as he makes his way to Stumpy.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the times. For me, I always got to keep reminding myself that this version of Spoiler Log is Key Sanity. When I watched the tournament last summer on YouTube and all that, it was just straight go into the boss, kill him as fast as you can, get what you need. But this one being Key Sanity, I always got to keep reminding myself, you got to find those important keys throughout the game because you can't progress without a lot of them.
Now, I am curious as to why both runners decided to grab the Titan's mitts before grabbing that flute from Pod. Do you have any theories, Ben?
Yeah, that was a little curious on that decision. Just probably a little bit easier to go ahead and just get that second glove since it was at Magic Bat. But at this time, with these guys, it's just hard to say.
Because they are going to have to come back to Kakariko to activate that flute, and Sicknasty is doing hammer pegs while Teto is onto his swordless Helmasaur fight. It's a little bit difficult without the sword to buffer your hammer strats. You got to know exactly how much you can approach the mast. Going for some bomb strats just to save a little bit of health.
Yeah, definitely don't get to see the bomb strats very often. Definitely very cool to see it. I remember when I was a kid, I always did the simple, easy way of using the hammer. I never once thought of using bombs until I saw a couple streamers do it, and I gotta admit, that was pretty cool.
All right, and Teto doing excellent work on that Helmasaur fight. Not an easy thing to do with green mail and no sword. Gets a big key to Eastern Palace, another required big key, and more importantly, his first crystal.
Yeah, Sicknasty's also going around. He's found himself another pod key. Found himself an important Total Rock key. Even though Total Rock being a pendant, hopefully we can just skip that one all together. But as early as we found the Ice Rod, there's probably something very important on that one.
Now, considering where that small Turtle Rock key is, that was in hammer pegs without the boots. So that's a very long time investment for a small key to a pendant dungeon. So there is something likely behind that first key. That takes us to the Chomp's room.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, to get all the way through it, you need at least 3. Hopefully there is nothing there on the lava chest, which is probably one of the most confusing spots on the map of all the dungeons, mainly for the fact that it's listed as the big key chest when everybody really knows it as lava chest.
All right, and Teto is activating his flute. We'll see where he decides to go. Where are you thinking, Ben?
I think he's going to go probably check out that mire area. Since he's got the mitts, he's got the flute. He can check out what he needs to there in Mire Cave. I haven't looked at the pennant requirements yet for Misery Mire, but it looks like he's turning into a fibber and going to make his way to Eastern Palace with that big key.
He is indeed going to take care of Eastern Palace. That'll be his second crystal. But yeah, so you actually, if there's nothing in the lava chest, to get to Laser Bridge, you only need 2 small keys and the big key. As well as, of course, the Cane of Samaria. We may not need the Fire Rod this seed, considering that both Turtle Rock and Skull Woods are crystals, or are pendants.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep in mind, and especially since we've already found the Ganis Tower big key on Sicknasty's side. So, yeah, that Fire Rod, probably about 99% of the game is probably not going to be important. They've already found the lantern, so they got their fire source.
All right, Sicknasty making his way through Pod. Dungeons are usually a nice break for the co-pilot. This is their opportunity to glance through the rest of the spoiler log and plan the runner's next move. Uh, So, for instance, for Alex Hacks, he knows Teto is going to be busy with Eastern Palace, going to be opening up just the bare minimum chest, grabbing that nice blue mail, and then can decide where he wants to go from there. Do they go to the Mire area? Maybe they clear Swamp Palace. Maybe they go and take care of the mountain. Yeah, they only know depending on what's in that spoiler log.
Yeah, Tito just also found in that second chest of his a sword, so he's able to finally have something a little bit easier to use other than that hammer. But you're absolutely right, though. I mean, if we look at our tracker right now, which our tracker today, I did have him up. I got to find it here. Scooty Puff. Thank you, Scooty Puff, for doing our tracking for us. But if you look at right now, with Ice Palace, he does have the big key. It does have Bombos. That is a real possibility. We do have some Mire areas, so I think he's heading south here for probably after this one.
Okay, and Tito finds a second sword in Eastern Palace. That means that we have knowledge of 3 swords, which makes me wonder why Sicknasty decided to take that long walk to Agena to get the early sword. It hasn't really paid off for him in any way.
Yeah, that is a very interesting call. I'm going to guess probably the reason why he did that was, if I remember right, this is one of the, when you're looking at the overall stuff, one of the Agena checks is one of the first ones. So he probably saw a sword and said, go for it, even though desert is only a pendant. So.
Well, they wouldn't have been going into desert anyway, but the one thing is that Eastern Palace is very early on the spoiler list. You could have seen those first 2 swords right away, but Teto on his way to the Armos fight. Oh, I'm sorry, Agena was the bow. I can't recall where Sicknasty's first sword... Oh, that was in Escape, which was still a bit of a walk. That was in the boomerang chest.
Yeah, definitely easy for us to get those confused. I mean, imagine us with just getting that confused with those 2 items. Imagine having the whole spoiler log in front of you. So.
Okay, Teto now with a Master Sword and second crystal in hand. Looks like he's making his way to Sahasrahla.
Yeah, definitely a quick and easy 3 checks here. And boy, he didn't have the green pendant, so I was gonna say maybe he had something else important, but can't do that yet. Ooh, find our 4th sword. So there we go. That now definitely puts the question mark with Sicknasty making that trip all the way into Escape just to get that first sword. So it'd be rare to see Teto going to go get that 4th sword.
Teto gonna go and stop off at the Witch, fill up on some potions. This feels like an Ice Palace play to me, especially with 5 hearts blue mail.
Yeah, normally in a game you'd probably be around 10, 11 hearts going into ice, maybe even half magic. So yeah, probably definitely with the move here, won't be able to do the icebreaker clip without the cane. But he does have the big key. He can do that bomb jump to bypass there in the firebar room. So definitely an easy kill for him with that bombos. Nothing's going to be stopping him there.
Teto fake flippering his way into ice, has not been over to Thieves Town to pick up those flippers. Imagine he would like to be able to do that with that Thieves Town big key in order to clear blind at the same.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, the flippers were in Paradox Cave. It was the Ganon's Tower big key that was in Thieves Town.
Yeah, I definitely want to get those flippers here. Not the flippers, get the items that he needs to get through all this.
right, Sicknasty having a similarly nice pod play. A little bit easier with that fighter sword to buffer the hammer hits.
And it looks like Teto just found his first invincibility item here with the Cane of Burna there in that first chest of Ice Palace. Definitely a good find to find. It opens up Spike Cave and also a good defense weapon as well.
Absolutely, especially if you're running low hearts. Walking over the spikes, say here in Ice Palace or in Misery Mire, good way to keep health.
Yeah, Teto needs to be careful here. He's only down to 2 bombs, so yeah, he's gonna be very limited on what he can and cannot do without finding more bombs here.
Well, luckily there's 2 bombs that you can pick up right here in this Stalfos room.
Yeah, and those Stalfos too, those are usually a good time to see good bomb drops as well, but unfortunately not today.
Now this is a very dangerous room on low hearts, and Teto navigating it like a champ. Sicknasty activates his flute, and it makes me wonder, where is that mirror that we're gonna need? I feel it must be very deep in the seed, because ideally these runners would have loved to be able to combo Pod and Eastern together, especially considering that Eastern Big Key was right on Helmasaur. So how deep is this mirror hiding? Maybe that's why we needed that Turtle Rock small key.
Oh, that'd be mean if that mirror is in Turtle Rock, but being a pendant dungeon, and seeing as how some of these seeds go, it really would not be a surprise one bit to actually see them going into Turtle Rock to go find it. Hopefully it's not there, but you never know. And Sicknasty looks like he's going to make his way here into Eastern, going to pick up at least 2 of the 3 swords that are in this area. It'd be interesting to see if he goes into Shirhalasa's closet there to see if he picks up the 4th one.
It looks like there's nothing else of interest in Ice Palace for Teto. Going straight to the boss. It's got a red goo in hand. Should not be an issue. Bombos will take care of the shell, and he's got that blue cane just to give himself a little bit of buffer room in case the puffs get out of hand.
Yeah, definitely going in with 5 hearts, regular magic. Will be a tight fight, but with seeing Teto run before, I'm sure this won't be much of a fight for him.
Alright, times the spin perfectly, gets those puffs in a corner, doing some great damage with the tempered sword. Ready to drink his his red potion, get a little bit of extra safety in there. 1 puff is down, 2 puffs are down, 1 more to go.
Oof, you better be careful.
Avoiding those icicles. Nicely done by Teto. That's going to be crystal number 3, $300 from the boss.
Yeah, definitely very tight fight there. Each one of those hit. You got bite air a few times by Cold Stare, taking 2 hearts each. Good thing he did have that red potion.
All right. That Ice Palace went super quick. That didn't give Alex Hacks a lot of time to parse a spoiler log, but it looks like whatever the next play is, it required a save and quit to Link's house. We have our 2 red crystals now. I feel like Pyramid Fairy might be our next play, but Teto was fluting away as Sicknasty heads into his Armos.
Yeah, I was with you on that one. I was thinking that he was probably going to go pick up that big bomb and check out the Pyramid Fairy, but making his way up the mountain, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes from here. He does have access to Dark Death Mountain, but going up this way, probably going to check out what's there on Speck Rock, and then make his way over to make the long trek over to Tower Hair, possibly.
It looks like it's going to be the play that you had suggested when we saw that blue cane. Going into Spike Cave, this is going to be tight. He was not lucky with the 50-50 bushes. We'll have to do it just on his blue cane.
Yeah, definitely with Spike Cave, very great thing to have there, especially when no refill bottles. This is going to be really tough. Oh, didn't quite make it.
Not quite enough room. Would have needed to have full health in order to not run out of magic. So he's probably going to go and go to the witch to get a little bit of extra health, or maybe route something else.
Yeah, one of the interesting things, I don't know if you saw it or not, on Sicknasty's side, he did not pick up that second sword there where you would normally find the big key in Desert Palace. He just didn't even bother going. He went straight to the boss. So, and then he picked up his third sword there in Schlosser's closet. So, kind of an interesting move. Makes the move that he made makes a little more sense now, I guess. Shortened up Eastern Palace, but the journey to get that fourth sword there and escape makes me kind of wonder.
It's a calculated gamble. I'm really not sure which one would be a better route. I don't know which is, the farther one out of your way, that Eastern Big Key chest or the one that is in the escape. And Teto is going back to Spike Cave, and it looks like Sicknasty is on his way to Tower of Hera, Big Key in hand.
Yeah, it definitely makes you think there, since Teto is going back up to Spike Cave, how there must be an extremely important item up here for him to make a second trip up here and even stopping and picking up that blue potion. So he's going to be able to refill both his hearts and his magic, and he should get safely through this time.
Now, both of these runners could have done that Tower of Hera quite early. They did have the hook shot and could have Hera potted up, but they both decided to put it off until they got that big key to Tower of Hera from Eastern. So there must be something in that Tower of Hera big chest. What do you think it is, Ben?
Well, let's see here. At this point, we need... Oh, so there's Fire Rod. That's actually what I was going to talk about, see what we needed. But since we just found the Fire Rod, I will probably say it's going to be an important item, and I want to go with the Cane of Samaria. I think with the Cane of Samaria, it's going to open up a lot more of the dungeons for us.
We do not know if we need that Fire Rod, but it does open up more of Turtle Rock. It opens up the back of Skull Woods, and Sicknasty found a second Turtle Rock small key. That could get us all the way to Laser Bridge.
Yeah, that kind of makes me a little nervous. I was kind of hoping we could avoid Turtle Rock completely, but at this point right now, with Sicknasty getting 2 keys, that probably will not happen. Sicknasty did, though, find a heart container, brings him up to 8, which looks like he's doing fairly well on the health side for one of these seeds, when normally the only most you ever see is 6 or 7 hearts.
All right, and we see that he did not open that Tower of Hera big chest, so this must have just been a coincidence, but still put this off. Doesn't look like there was anything other than that Turtle Rock small key in there, and Teto picking up a third Turtle Rock small key. We did not see that earlier from the brewery. That is going to be enough to get to Trinex, assuming there is nothing in the lava chest.
I think that's one of the chests that Sicknasty picked up a little bit earlier when he was going through his Thieves Town area.
I believe he did do hammer pegs. I don't remember if that was another Turtle Rock small key or not.
Oh, I can look that up real quick.
Of course, we do have access to the spoiler log. We don't have to rely just on our memory anymore. I'm a little bit not used to that. Teto is using that Fire Rod, going to the back of Skull Woods. We had saw Sicknasty dive in here earlier, but didn't find anything that important. We did not see this vanilla big key chest.
No, Hammer Pegs was actually a full heart container. So that's not where we got the second one at.
Okay, so that was the brewery. All right, so there's Silvers there in Skull Woods. I think that's what Sicknasty was looking for earlier, but might not have been aware of where the vanilla big key chest is.
Yeah, with Skull Woods, it's definitely easy to mix it all up, but definitely silvers are going to be important on this one, especially in these very short seeds here in spoiler log. So silver is not going to have to worry about spin slashes on the big pig, and looks like Sicknasty is going to make his way now into back into Skull Woods.
Yeah, and Teto is on his way to the bridge chest. We may not need to go fight Mothula, but it looks like there's something important in here that required the fire.
Ooh, oh, the mirror. Oh, nasty place for the mirror. That actually adds more insult to the wounds here of Skull Woods, adding more salt to those wounds, making it sting just a little bit more.
All right, well, now we can go and take care of Swamp Palace. So that mirror locked behind the fire rod, locked behind an invulnerability item, which was locked behind the Titan's mitts and a sword.
With that mirror now, looks like Teto going to pick up that big bomb into the Pyramid Fairy with that mirror. Life can be a little bit easier, but again, turns me into a fibber. And since he's going this way, my guess is that he's probably going to make his way up to Catfish in the store area.
All right, and good call from chat that Teto still needs to get those flippers from Paradox Cave. He was on the mountain temporarily. Has not continued. Skipping the pyramid for now. Looking like he's going to Catfish.
Yeah, definitely great to have chat helping us out today. I'm always so used to writing things down where things are at, but because of for this being such a short seed and only opening probably about 60, 70 chests, I don't really have a whole lot of time to write things down.
No, indeed. And even for as, Fast and Furious it is for us as commentators, it is even more so for the runners and their co-pilot. It's an awkward thing. If you've never done a co-op seed before, you always feel bad about your own mistakes, but you can often feel worse if you're making a mistake and you cause, your runner to have to open up an extra chest or accidentally go the wrong way. And there's the Ether Medallion for Teto that may be required for Misery Mire or whatever we need out of Turtle Rock.
Oh, that's going to make things interesting. I'm looking here at the required medallions here on the spoiler log. Turtle Rock, you need Ether to get in, and Bombos to get into Misery Mire. So with the keys they're finding in Turtle Rock, finding the medallions they need to get into it, that I think they're just sealing their fate, saying there's something very important in the Turtle Rock that we're going to have to go in and get to complete this seed. And it looks like Sicknasty is going to make his way in to Swamp Palace. Won't be able to go. Well, he does have a small key, so he can get into all the way through this one. And ooh, there is the red cane on Zora King. Man, it's kind of nice to see him not give us a life lesson or a scam artist today.
For sure. Nice that that wasn't required right away. Didn't need to farm up those early rupees. Both of our runners will have plenty of rupees for Zora, and now Teto is heading up the mountain. We will see which way he's going. Looks like he's gonna go and take care of Tower of Hera first. Makes sense. He'll be able to open up Turtle Rock with that Ether Medallion and we'll be able to see and grab whatever is inside that is required by that Cane of Samaria and Turtle Rock small keys.
Yeah, looking at the trackers, I mean, it's kind of hard to kind of pick what could be in Turtle Rock. If it could be anything, maybe that's where our big key to Thieves Town is at. So that could be the only thing I can think that we could find into that'd be of any value.
We're also looking for the big key to Misery Mire. And so there we go. Teto picks up his second Turtle Rock small key. Opts not to Harapot, is just going to climb up the tower the regular way with the big key in hand. So yes, all we are looking now for go mode is the Thieves Town big and the Misery Mire big. Teto will need to grab his flippers from Paradox Cave. And Sicknasty just needs to clear up some dungeons and grab that Ether Medallion from Catfish.
Yeah, we did find the Misery Mire big key. Sicknasty did find that, and with Sicknasty, with him completing this dungeon and maybe not going back and finishing up Skull Woods, I'm kind of wondering here if maybe he might have mismarked his tracker, because Swamp Palace. Oh no, never mind. Swamp Palace is a crystal. I was starting to think that Swamp Palace was a pendant. So, but never mind. I was wrong on that one.
No, we've already seen that once this week. There was a team who mistook Swamp Palace for Skull Woods. Swamp Palace was a pendant in that seed, but no worries here. Swamp Woods is a thing, that's for sure. Sicknasty, you trying to get that silver arrow in Argus. Teto takes care of Moldorm. Crystal number 4. And yes, that Misery Mire big key was in the Paradox Cave as well. So all we're looking for is that Thieves Town big key.
Yeah, I was definitely kind of wondering why he would have skipped the flippers there in Paradox Cave. So
he hasn't been over to Paradox Cave yet. The only time he's been up the mountain is to get that old man save and quit point and to do Spike Cave. This is his first trip over to East Death Mountain, so he'll be able to, clear all of this at once.
Yeah, that does now make sense now. I was thinking this was actually his third trip, but I think I'm probably getting him and Sicknasty a little confused here when it comes to running up the mountain.
And we see that the floating island was the cape, so that was mirror locked. So our only access to that fire rod in Spike Cave was via that Cane of Burna from Ice Palace.
And on the on Lake Hylia Island was the big key to Turtle Rock. I think that definitely solidifies Turtle Rock is extremely important today.
Okay, so that big key will give us access to the Crystal Roller Room now. We do have, so where are you thinking? So we know that all we're looking for right now is a Thieves Town big key. Are you thinking it's on Trinex? Do you think Laser Bridge? Maybe it's in the big chest? Why would we need that big key?
For me, I'm gonna say probably Laser Bridge. It seems like Laser Bridge is one of the most trolly places of the entire game. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that it is going to be there on Laser Bridge.
All right, there's the flippers for Teto. Laser Bridge is the most item dense area. Sicknasty heading up to Catfish, gonna go and get his Ether Medallion.
Yeah, so he's going to be pretty close to, at least he's got all the items that he'll need to complete it. It'd be kind of nice if he could find the boots, but it could be interesting to see what you see here.
All right, there's that big key for Mire. And there's a lot of call in chat that Ice Rod implies Trinex, but Ice Rod was one of the first weapons that we found. So both runners may have picked it up, not necessarily for Trinex, but just for some early game routing.
Yeah, it's definitely quite interesting with that early Ice Rod. Being the level of these runners, I've seen a lot of runners actually use Ice Rod to make Lamel's fight look extremely easy, even though they're using the Ice Rod on him instead of the typical Fire Rod.
Okay, maybe we're looking for some more Turtle Rock small keys because Tito could have gone into Turtle Rock, but he may need that big key. So I think he's going to go and clear Swamp and grab that Turtle Rock big key from Lake Hylia Island as well. Unfortunately, there's no real way to fake flipper to Lake Hylia Island. That is one of the other hard flipper locked places in the game. Because you need to be able to be standing to use the mirror. If you're in that swimming animation, then you can't use the mirror. Sicknasty going to make his way into Ice Palace. Imagine this will be an even quicker trip for him. Will not need to pick up that Cane of Burna since he used 2 potions to get through Spike Cave to get his fire.
Yeah, this will definitely be a little bit quicker between the Fire Rod and Bombo's medallion here. So don't have to worry about that animation that we saw there on Tito's side. But Teto now entering Turtle Rock, going to make this a very quick and somewhat probably painless run here for Swamp Palace.
Oh no, you gotta grab that small key under the pot, Teto. There you go. And I think you meant Swamp Palace. We've all got Turtle Rock in the brain. We're all just itching to look to find out where that Thieves Town big key could be in Turtle Rock. One thing that it could be is it could be a fetch quest chain that's inside Turtle Rock.
Oh, if that's the case, and that's mean. Just finding out what we need here, but going deep here into Turtle Rock, because I'm gonna just assume that we need to get into the back of Turtle Rock. Being a pennant, it's hard for me to see unless there's something on the pedestal, but that they'll need. But the only thing I can imagine that would be a key at this point. But I wouldn't put all my money though that we would be going to the pedestal.
No, I would agree that pedestal is likely not what's the play, considering that both of the runners had the opportunity to clear Skull Woods when they grabbed that mirror. Well, no, whatever we're looking for is in Turtle Rock, but it doesn't need to be directly in Turtle Rock. We may find the mushroom, we may find the book in there, or hopefully the seed is nice and that Thieves Town big key is just right there in Turtle Rock.
Actually, the book was there in Ice Palace. It was right there in the big key chest.
Interesting. Sicknasty grabbed that, then mirrored out. He accidentally forgot to grab the key, so he has to make his way through Ice Palace again.
Actually, I was wrong on that. It was in the spike room, not the big key chest. I was a couple rooms before that.
Okay, the spike room.
Yeah, and
Teto did not grab that when he was in Ice Palace. He only grabbed that cane of...
Yeah, definitely another interesting play. Hopefully nothing too important will be on any of the tablets.
Well, we know it's not going to be a sword or silvers. Maybe it's half magic. That would be a useful find for climbing up Ganon's tower.
Yeah, definitely half magic making your way through some of these dungeons is pretty good. Looks like Sicknasty going to attempt Icebreaker now for the second time. Did it once and unfortunately mirrored out, and now going to have to do it again.
Yeah, has got that Cane of Samaria from Zora lining up the thing. Teto having a very nice Argus fight, gets his crystal.
Yeah, that's crystal number 5 for him. He's got 2 more to go, looking for that Thieves Town big key and Misery Mire. At this point, even though he doesn't have a Mire key, I would think that's probably going to be next on his mind, is trying to find that key and then making its way to Mire.
He's already got the Misery Mire big key. That was in Paradox Cave.
Yes, I was thinking he was going to need 1 small key to get through. But now that I think about it, there's actually 2. There's that 1 key up there in that 1 spike room up in the north east corner of Misery Mire.
Yep, in key sanity modes, you actually never really need to find any Meyer small keys. The keys under pots and under on enemies are more than enough to open up all the doors that you require. And there's Tito's Turtle Rock big key as Sicknasty is about to drop into cold.
Yeah, and with Teto making another trip up the mountain, it's probably really safe to say right now that he is going to make our very first Turtle Rock dip.
Absolutely. So we will have to see where that is. There could be 7 locations in Turtle Rock that he could get to, including the lava chest. If we skip the lava chest, then that gives us another 4 on Laser Bridge as well as Mimic Cave. So lots of places where that big key could be, although Mimic Cave does not require the big key. So I'm thinking it's either the vanilla big key chest, crystal roller room, or Laser Bridge.
Yeah, at this point right now, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, my toes crossed that he doesn't have to go all the way to try next. Hopefully what he needs here in Turtle Rock is early. Because there's nothing more trolly than having to go all the way to Laser Bridge to find that one item that we could possibly need. So,
Has already opened up Turtle Rock earlier. The one thing, if it is on Trinex, we will need to find another Turtle Rock small key. You do need 3 in order to get to Trinex. These 2 keys will get him to the lava chest. He can steal the key from the Pokey then to get to Laser Bridge. But then you would need 1 more small key to get to Trinex, but it's not in any of these first 3 chests.
yeah, I do agree with you on that. But seeing a lot of these spoiler log seeds, and even a lot of these seeds, it seems like that there's always at least 1 key to Turtle Rock in Turtle Rock. I think I saw a race yesterday where the 3rd Turtle Rock key that they needed was actually in Lava Bridge, and the 4th key was buried someplace else. But hopefully that's not the case this time. Hopefully it's just on the journey through Turtle Rock.
All right, Tito making his way to the vanilla big key chest, but changes his mind, doing a U-turn here. Decided he does not need that small key. So whatever it is either in the big chest or it is a crystal roller room, or else there is a small key hidden somewhere else. He is skipping the big chest. Our Thieves Town big key or something leading to it is going to be in crystal roller room. Unless there has been a terrible mistake by Alex, Hax, and Tito, and if they need that small key.
Oh, I hope not. Hopefully it's just going to be here in this next room. If not, then we're going to have to go back and double track. So let's have our fingers crossed and hopefully it's something good here.
All right, is this a Thieves Town big key?
Ooh, we got a big key. Oh, big key to desert. Oh, wow. Okay, that's even more interesting. Find the big key to the Green Pendant Desert Palace.
Green Pendant Desert. So that, I mean, it opens up Landmo, it opens up the big chest, and it opens up that green pendant.
Yeah, not a whole lot of openings in desert. This is interesting. That he didn't need that last key in Turtle Rock, so makes me kind of wonder what's important now in desert.
Well, we're still on the hunt for that Thieves Town big key, but this will be an opportunity for Tito to clear out Misery Mire and grab whatever we need from Desert Palace. Now, again, we're looking for that Thieves Town big key, but it doesn't need to be a straight shot. There's lots of fetch quest opportunities here. Not only is there the mushroom and the mushroom to follow, there's also that Swamp Palace big chest, the Skull Woods big chest, and the Thieves Town big chest locked by a small key. But I guess not the Thieves Town small chest, because we would need the big chest for big key for that.
Oh man, you're starting to get into cruel mode now. All those one-off locations that you just mentioned. Oh man, how cruel would that be? Having to go into Turtle Rock just to find the big key to desert, to needing to go to, like, say, Thieves Town or one of those other one-off locations that you just mentioned. Oh man, that's just
The
cruel.
rando logic can be quite cruel, but I am hoping for the runner's sake because we love the one thing about spoiler logs is that they're nice and quick, and Teto is going straight to the boss here in Misery Mire. No other need to open up any other chests.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a good idea. Even though me personally, I probably would have gone right instead of left. But in the last race I did yesterday, there was actually a debate on which way was faster, and somebody said that actually going left is about 3 seconds faster, but doesn't seem like it. So
The other thing that going left does is you avoid that Beamos and the Stalfos in that spike room. When you're on only 7 hearts, those can be a little bit dangerous.
yeah, I definitely don't need that here in Meyer, especially for where those locations are at. So
Teto doing a nice transition through Meyer. Remembers not to hit that switch because he didn't go to the fire lock side. Hadn't set up Spooky, so is just going to toggle the switch the intended way.
yeah, I don't think I've actually have seen spooky action this week. It's kind of odd going through these rando seeds and not seeing spooky action.
Well, sometimes in these kind of seeds, you don't have the equipment necessary. In this particular case, not being able to kick up your the dust from your boots isn't useful. There are other setups for it, but if you're not familiar with it, might not be worth the time. And Teto gonna take quick work of Vitreous with those lovely silver arrows dissipating those eyeballs.
Yeah, definitely a very, very quick fight. As the meme is, if you blink, you miss it.
Well, Vitreous certainly didn't blink, and we will not miss him. That's crystal number 6 for Teto. So let's see what that Desert Palace big key is going to hold. What are you thinking, Ben? And which Desert Palace big key location is going to hold that progression? Is it the big chest? Is it Landmo? Or is it on the green pen?
Well, I was before you went into this way. I was going to say that it was going to go all the way to Lamos, but I think since he came this way, whatever we need is here in. It's going to be in the big key or the big chest.
Chat pointed up another potential fetch quest, but maybe one the runners wouldn't mind. Could be Boots here with our Thievestown big key in some kind of bonkable location.
Ooh, big key to Thievestown. There is our last big key that we need for this race. So I'm sure Teto is going to flute out here and make his way up there. Make a very quick race here of Thievestown.
Absolutely. We'll go hit the portal, grab that Ganon's Tower big key from the very first chest of Thievestown. Sicknasty had grabbed it earlier, so he'll be able to go right to the back of Thievestown. But this could be quite close. There could be a lot of time gained or lost in the climb up Ganon's Tower. Both runners will have Tempered Sword and Silver Arrows. Both runners have the blue mail. Teto definitely has a lead, but it is not insurmountable.
Yeah, with Sicknasty just picking up his 6 crystal, going to go pick up that Thievestown big key. So it's going to be interesting. This could be a pretty tight race making our way up to Ganon's Tower.
Absolutely, and this is the thing that is the best thing about spoiler logs. When you see these guys on low equipment right now, the co-pilot's work is done. They get to sit back and cheer on their runners, maybe go and take a look in the upstairs of Ganon's Tower if there's some useful safeties along the way. And we will have a comparison at the time. Teto about to go and pick up this small key at 104.55. We'll see what time Sicknasty picks it up at, and that'll give us a good gauge as to how far apart our runners are. So we'll just remind you once again to please give these runners a follow, !R in the chat. Sicknasty with his teammates Ursula doing this spoiler log seed, and Teto with his teammate Alex Hacks. And later today is going to be match 2 of this matchup.
Yeah, this afternoon, if you love this type of race, there is going to be a lot more. This is the first of, I believe, 19 races for the day. I think we're going to have over half of them restreamed throughout the day. So if you love your spoiler log, this is definitely the day to check it out. I mean, you can go to ALTTPRleague.com, check out the schedule. I believe the restream guide is on there, as well as all the team standings, where everybody stands. So give that a check out while you're giving a follow to these runners and all the speed gaming channels as well.
Absolutely. And at 3 p.m. Eastern on a channel to be determined, maybe that has been decided. Oh, it is unfortunately not going to be on a restream, so it's even more important to follow the runners. The teammates of these guys, JJ Blue and Catobat, will be battling it out for match 2 of this week 6. Going to be same pilots, Ursula for JJ Blue, and Catobat will be piloted by Alex Hacks, so stay tuned for that. Major Mistakes is on the hunt for a playoff position. It is a very tight race in this league for those last 2 playoff spots. Number 1 team Awesome has clinched their playoff spot, wants to see if they can secure the division as well.
Yeah, a lot of the divisions too, if you not had to check out the standings, are extremely tight. There's several divisions where there's more than 2 or 3 teams looking for that last wild card spot. So this next week is going to be extremely interesting. Teto now taking on Blind, which he is going down. Sicknasty getting ready to go pick up the Maiden. Teto finds himself a useless key to pod at this point, and so it's time to make our way up the mountain for the final time to go take on Aghanim 2, and then eventually take on the Big Pig. And one thing I just now noticed is both runners are actually picking up the red mail.
Okay, you know what? That's not too bad. You know, especially Teto with his 7 hearts. It's really nice. Ganon hugs hurt a lot. And no, unfortunately, there's no room for the restream. All of the channels are going to be booked up with races, but that's just why you got to follow the runners. You'll be able to hear the cool thing with Spoiler Week is you'll be able to hear the chatter between the runners and their pilots, give them some indication for their routing. And Teto getting deadrocked, oh no, that's going to cost him some time. So Sicknasty making up some time thanks to that deadrock.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance yet to listen to some of these racers with their pilots, you definitely need to do that. It's kind of interesting. Sometimes could be a not safe for work type scenario with some of their language, but you know what? That's okay. We are not we're not streaming what they're saying, so they can kind of talk however they want. But it's very interesting to hear their routing, how they get all this seed figured out. So definitely check that out if you got the time.
Oh, and Teto getting bullied by the Deadrocks again. This is not good. He is losing time on his lead. He certainly has a great amount of execution, but I'm sure he's furious at these Deadrocks right now.
Oh, now come on. I'm sure the Deadrocks are just looking for a friend, and that Teto was the first one up there, so I think they're looking for a friend.
So one thing to keep in mind as our runners make their way into Ganon's tower, and Sicknasty did a little bit of a detour there. Realize that, no, I gotta climb up this way. Neither of the runner have any Ganon's tower small keys. They will need to remember to grab that 1 small key under the pot before climbing the tower. Otherwise, they may get stuck, and Sicknasty having a little bit of accident with his hook shot there. So both of these runners feeling the nerves, realizing how close this race could be. Both of them have had a little bit of issues.
Yeah, Teto making his way now into Ganon's tower. Going to start probably picking up another key. Yep, he does need to pick up a key. He did not pick any up on the overworld. So he'll grab his key. He will mirror out and start his climb up to Ganon's tower.
Absolutely. He'll be able to get his second small key from the mini helmet at the top. Sicknasty taking the slightly slower but safer route through Dark Death Mountain. No dead rocks in the way, but you know what? Considering what we saw with Teto, maybe a good choice. Dead rocks have these runners' names on them today.
Yeah, definitely quite interesting here that the dead rocks are being a little more trolly than they usually are. Normally they get hit once, but both our runners here getting hit 2, 3, 4 times. So hopefully it won't slow them up too much. Teto did activate at 109.47, and Sicknasty was at 111.07. So we have about a minute and 20 seconds difference between the two runners going into Ganon's tower.
Again, that is not an insurmountable lead, especially with Teto is already taking a lot of damage from spikes. Won't be able to bomb into the bonk into the safety room with no boots. May choose to bomb, may choose to just ignore it. So Teto does have potions in hand, will be able to use those. But the thing with potions is you got to take them in time, and it is very easy to keep getting damage locked and missing that potion refill. Sicknasty grabbed his key and is making his climb up the gauntlet.
Yeah, definitely the right here is where he's got to play it safe. I mean, these right here are the hardest 4 rooms in succession in the entire game. Each room progressively gets harder, making number 3 look like it was easy. Making room 4 look easy. Now he's on his way to make Lamos. Ooh, getting nailed by the Beamos there at the very end. Does have a powder, though. He can pick up his fairy here. Gonna slightly delay the second Lamos fight, but at this point right now, I think he will be okay with that. So,
for sure. Gonna go for spin strats since Lanmo wasn't set up for that silver arrow kill. Looks like it's gonna be a 3 cycle here. No, gonna make it 4. So we'll have to see how Sicknasty does. He's also very low on health, only 2.5 hearts. I believe still has 1 more potion in hand. Going to use a combination of sword and silver strats as Teto makes his way into Wizrobes 2.
Yeah, there on that last menu check, I did see at least 1 blue potion that was available for him. So,
all right, Teto into Wizrobe 2. Gets it done. First try every time. Sicknasty into Gauntlet 3. Gauntlet 4. Teto has 2 blue potions. Sicknasty, though, only has 1. Alright, Gauntlet 5 done nicely by Sicknasty. It was down to half a heart. Hopefully also powders this anti-fairy.
yeah, definitely probably a smart thing right now for the only about 3 or 4 hearts that he had right there. I didn't get to see how many he actually had prior to him picking that up, but I know that he was on low, so...
Alright, could make up a little bit more time here. Looks like he may get 1 less cycle than Teto on the Landmolus. Good work with the silver arrows.
Yeah, it does need to kill that. And someone in chat was asking about the boots, and there they are. Ask and you shall receive.
You know what? Even there, that's not too far out of your way. I would have picked them up too. At very least, it makes that ice mini Helma hallway a little bit easier to navigate, and you can use dash strats on Ganon.
Yeah, me personally, I am not a fan of this room after Moldorm here, so having the boots definitely going to make that room 10 times easier. Not going to get bodied by those mini Moldorms. So.
Okay, Sicknasty had a little bit of issue in Wizrobes too, lost a little bit of time that he saved, and having issue on the bridge on his way to Torches, getting bullied off the bridge.
Yeah, without the boots on that room, sometimes that room can they can bully you more than normal.
All right, Sicknasty does have to be careful. He used the fall strat to save some time in Torches, but he's down to 2 hearts. Will have to be careful and use his potion if necessary, as Teto is on to Agate 2. A nice double there.
Yeah, he's actually had 2 doubles in a row and picked up 3 doubles, so the triple double.
Sicknasty grabbing that key, not grabbing that heart or the boots from the room. We'll see if that costs some time or if it's going to be the save. As Teto has killed Agate 2 and is on his way to fight Ganon, tempered sword in hand. Right now, this is Tito's race to lose. All he has to do is take care of the 4-cycle boss at the end of the game.
Yeah, we're definitely here about a little over a minute. We're still at about a minute 20-second difference here between the 2 runners. So Teto going to get these 12 slashes on each cycle. Looks like he was able to do a first cycle on the first one. Going to probably do a second on this one. Watch Ganon's temper tantrum and then those 4 silver arrows. So this was going to be an extremely quick fight.
Nice use of the hook shot to go and take care of those fire bats, avoid taking damage. Didn't quite get the 2 cycle, using some dash strats to get those last little bit of damage in there. Good call using that blue potion.
Yeah, nothing worse than taking a death here this late in the game, especially on the Ganon fight. And I'm sure, too, using that blue potion, because both the runners and co-pilots can watch the other runner as they run. So we're pretty sure that Teto, he knows that Sicknasty is on his heels, getting ready to start his game.
Sicknasty would need a mistake, though, from Teto to pull in ahead or into the lead. But Teto is on to phase 4. Already 1 arrow in there. Going for Torch Glitch, but misses it. Not a big deal. He's got the Fire Rod. He's got an extra blue potion in his inventory. That's second and third silver arrows. Waiting for the torches to go out one more time. And that is 4 for Teto. Get some GGs in chat for Teto and Alex Hacks of major mistakes. They're going to pick up the 3 points, move to 18 in their division, and pick up the win.
Yeah, that's definitely an important win for these guys into their division. It's going to keep them up there where they need to be. It's going to be, they're in definitely one tight battle in for that last spot for them.
All right, I will announce the official SRL time of 1:18:15 as Sicknasty is on to his Phase 4 Ganon fight. We'll bring both teams and their co-pilots in at the same time. Just finish up Sicknasty's fight. They are so close together. Could have been any choice, anything that could have changed this race around. All right, there we go. Sicknasty getting his silver arrows in. That's 1. That's 2. Got the torch glitch. That's 3 and 4, and get your GGs in chat for Sicknasty. We'll bring them in and their co-coms in. Co-pilots in.
And while she is doing that, Sicknasty does finish with a time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 18 seconds. So very, Very close race, just a difference of a little under a minute and 20 seconds between both of these racers. So it'll be interesting to see what both these, all four of these runners got to say.
All right, I'm just going to send some invites over to the pilots. All right, we'll bring Sicknasty and Teto in here.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah, greetings.
GG's, guys. Well played.
Ugh.
Yeah, GG.
Yeah.
So let's start with Sicknasty. Your thoughts on the seed and how it went for you and Ursula.
Oh, totally fine. We were still looking for stuff when I got into the Dark World for Skull Woods, and that cost some time. And then we had known about the first sword in Castle, but there was a sword in Sahasha that we didn't know about either. So that was also a little bit of time because just the walk. But yeah, what can you do? But I will say though, I was catching up though for a little bit. I was about a dungeon and some time behind. I think when I looked at it at one point, I was like a minute and 30 seconds behind. So catching up to a minute and 3 ain't too bad, But I was pretty sure once you had finished Ice Palace, I had a feeling that I was not gonna be able to catch up.
We just trained with Alex Hex like 2 times or 3 times, so we are not this much in this mode, and pretty much was on the fly. The last seeds were pretty easy compared to this one with all these double dips. To be honest, you just picked up the big key for Turtle Walk, and we thought, wait a minute, we need this too. And
yeah, so there were a couple moments.
A second before the dipping Turtle Walk without the big key. I mean, whoa, this would have been the race.
So there were a couple moments where I was happy you made some mistakes. So like you had the double do Spike Cave because you almost made it. You were down to the final heart, and I was like, oh, okay, sweet, I got a chance. I got more hearts than him, and I have 2 potions. There's some time catch up there. And then you went up to Turtle Rock and opened it. And then I was like, well, regardless, whatever his route is here, he's gonna have to do another climb of the mountain. So that's some time right there too. But
yeah, you had to do to climb anyway because the flippers were in whatever cave.
They were somewhere.
Yeah.
That answers my question about whether or not your pilots were watching the restream and giving you guys updates. So.
I was kind of giving my pilot the updates, which was kind of funny because she was giving me stuff, and I was like, "Why is Teto going over there? What's he doing? What's he doing over there?" and I was like, "Hey, Ursula, there's something over there." She's like, "Yeah, I know. Let's focus on us." And I was like, "But why is he over there?" So there was a lot of that back and forth happening.
Why is he picking up Lake Hylia? That's no reason. We don't need a big key. Oh wait, Turtle Walk. Yeah, it's the same. I mean, that's the fun aspect on this thing. This whole looking in other streams. Yeah.
I like it though. This is pretty cool because I've never heard of this concept, so I definitely want to do this with my community sometime and with other people because this is neat. This is a pretty neat little concept of being like what's going on and you also have someone feeding you knowledge at the same time, which is very, very intriguing. But yeah, small mistakes here and there. What can you do? Execution is what it came down to, I would say. So when I was climbing up to GT, I just decided to jump into the hole of the bridge for whatever reason. I was just thinking ahead past that, and I hook shot the first 2 times, and then I just fell into the hole, and I was like, "What am I doing? Stop that!"
I got dead walked so hard. I never got dead walked so hard in my life like this one.
Those dead rocks had it out for you. Just
they're pretty nice to me.
Oh man, please let him dead walk too. Oh no, but he jumped in the hole. Yes.
Yeah, or I did icebreaker. I did icebreaker, but then I was like, wait, I need a key. I can't do icebreaker, and then I forgot the key behind the giant rock, and I was like, where's my key? And so I had to redo icebreaker. Like there was just small little mistakes. I was just the nerves were catching in. So
there were many mistakes on both sides for a whole minute, or it was everyone's race. Yeah,
it's a very intense mode, and I mean it's hour and 20, definitely one of the longer ones because of all those required double dips and having to go all over the place. We thought for sure, Turtle Rock is going to be nice, and it's just going to be the Thieves' Town there. No, you had to go to desert.
I always asked Alex Hexo, where was this item again? Yeah, they are behind this and Turtle Walk and so on. Oh god, I'm so glad I had someone who had the knowledge in this seat.
Yeah, even for a spoiler, if this wasn't a spoiler, this would be a little janky because double dipping pendants just for one item that you don't even have to kill the dungeon. You just need an item in one random spot in the back of the dungeon is a little janky. So, because initially I had went to the desert and I was like, well, why didn't Teto kill Landmo? And in my brain, I wasn't keep tracking any of the crystals. So I was like, well, we got to kill Landmo, right? So I'm going to use the back entrance. And then I realized it's a pendant, and I was like, wow, so we needed 2 pendants for no reason, just for some keys. I was like, what are you doing, game?
And that's the thing, too. If this wasn't a spoiler log, right, you would have been directed to Turtle Rock, and you would have had the fire rod and the ice rod, right? You would have seen, oh, well, you know, I find that Desert Palace big key. It's like, oh, well, then the big key must be on Trinex. So you absolutely would have gone all the way back there.
Oh, yeah. And all the chests in between. The chain chomp room would have been frustrating on blue mail, like low hearts. So would have been a lot of frustrating things, but yeah, overall, I mean, it was fun. It was definitely fun watching, and then just like spying on Teto and be like, "Where's he going?" Like that's an odd enjoyment of being like, "What's happening? I'm over here. Why is he over there?" Like I always enjoy those little moments. But
this whole divergence in the beginning, I mean, I'm not
the
sure
beginning
why
was
we're
funny.
doing this and this.
The beginning was hilarious because you and me were like having these moments where we were saving Quentin and then like running around in a circle for a second and then saving Quentin again. You were watching me, I think, right? And then I was watching you. Yeah. Because there were those moments when I was like, do I go there? Tito's going there. Hold on. Let me get this real quick. Hold on. Yeah, like that first 10 minutes was really funny to watch.
You go to Uncle, get the moon pearl, and there's a sword in Boomerang chest. Oh, great. Wait, there are 3 other swords on the way. So why am I doing this right now?
And Magic Back has Titan's Mitts. When do you go get him? Because you have to go over here real quick and get this. Dodge the crabs and 3 hearts. Yeah.
Titan's were something that I was curious about because you both knew that you would have to come back to Kakariko to activate your flute anyway from Pod.
Yeah.
So I was curious if you or your co-pilot had discussed, well, you know, we got hammer, you know, lamp and our bow. Let's go do Pod and then activate flute and get Titans at the same time.
It was interesting because, well, I'm trying to think where's Titans. It was Magic Bat. Yeah, it might have been quicker, I think, that route. I think in the moment, there was no way to put that together because in my head, I was thinking about the mirror. The mirror was stuck behind the fire rod, and I was like, all right, we really need this to kind of like move around the world a lot quicker. So it probably, in hindsight, if we do this again, if we did the same exact seed again, it probably would be quicker to go to Pod, get the flute, turn it on, go get Magic Bat, and then just flute like to 3 or something, or go get the fire rod. But yeah, I was thinking about the Titan's Mitts for a while, especially for the fact that we needed like Turtle Rock, you needed Ice Palace, all those places. So
we had a few moments where we didn't really know what to do next, and so we just said, okay, let's go there. At least they are the mids. We need them anyway. And I couldn't think about all this without the spoiler, and I was concentrating. I didn't get the sword, the first one, so I had to play the whole Palace of Darkness swordless, and this was a bit clinchy with 5 hearts or so. So I just trusted my co-pilot, and
I took a lot more safeties too than you, because I think I had, with all the bosses and stuff randomly dropping pieces of heart, I think I ended up on 10 or 11. 8 is what I got. I got 8 hearts total, so I think you're on like 5 or 6.
We decided to do perhaps the Super Bunny Cave, 2 heart pieces, and maybe cave on Floating Island, depending on how much is there some kind of lead before GT. And after deciding, at least 70 seconds or so, no, don't do it. You got 2 blue potions and just climb and somehow play it safe.
Yeah. Not bad. GG, sir. You got me.
Yeah, GG. It was pretty close.
It was very close.
And you guys will get to sit back this afternoon in a couple of hours when your teammates go take care of the match 2 of this week 6 matchup.
Oh yeah.
And second last week of league. So are either of you going to be racing in that final week, the co-op all dungeons information share? I'm
actually done. Both my teammates are doing next week, so this is actually my last race for the league.
Oh.
So yeah.
We decided, I think, Carobot is playing 2 games and then 1 with Alex and with me. So we thought about last week, there will be at least everyone involved.
Yeah, I don't have as much synergy yet with Ursula and JJ, so we decided to let them Because I just met them. I'm very quiet in the community, so I don't meet people too often. So they decided they were like, well, we'll do it. You know, they got better synergy. So that's good.
Fantastic. All right. Well, be sure to give these two a follow. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're able to get a restream for that matchup between Feline Paralysis and Major Mistakes at 3 p.m. Eastern. But if you give a follow to JJ Blue and Catobat, you'll be able to watch that race, listen to the chatter. Although I imagine that JJ... I was curious if JJ Blue and Catabat would be speaking in German.
I don't know if JJ Blue knows German. To my knowledge, he doesn't.
I don't think so.
I don't think he does either. Oh yeah, look at your collection rate. Lower than mine.
Even though he grabbed the boots.
Oh, you did grab the boots. Yeah, because I was watching. I was like, those boots aren't going to do anything for me. I don't care for those boots.
I'm not this one cycle guy in Ganon's fight, so I thought about boots. Perhaps in the second phase you can boot inside, and whatever, never mind. One check more or less seconds.
Yeah. Well, GG's.
Yeah, GG. Thanks for the restream.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Best of luck to your teams this afternoon. I'm sure that Feline Paralysis would like to play spoiler. Steal another 3 points for Major Mistakes. Major Mistakes looking for another 3 points to go and maybe solidify a playoff position.
Very we need those points. So
yeah, better get us.
Oh, it's a fight. It's a fight. Yeah, it's on.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for racing. Be sure to follow the runners. Big shout outs to our tracker Scooty Puff Jr. It's tricky tracking a spoiler log race because even though you have the spoiler log, the runners are going so fast. It's hard to keep track. So big shout outs to them. And a big shout out to Bandman. Thanks for joining me, Bandman.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a lot of fun. It's been great seeing these races. It's amazing how close it was. Can't remember who. I think it was Sicknasty was saying how much he enjoyed these seeds. I do know there's an upcoming version of it, but it's just a version of the spoiler log, but it's just a solo. It's not a team version. So
cool. I have yet to do a spoiler key sanity. That sounds nightmarish.
I think the tournament is just going to be open mode, so just regular open spoiler. You get the study period. You get that.
Yeah, that's not too bad then. Someday I'm going to do a spoiler key sanity now that I've seen these, but man, that's a lot of info to keep track of.
Sure is.
That's on the realms of cross keys.
Heads up for the pilots. A door randomizer. Yeah. Door randomizer spoiler log. Yeah, that's great.
Ooh. Oh.
Well, have a great afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's lots more spoiler action to watch. There are going to be 11 restreams this afternoon. 2 of them starting at 1 p.m. Eastern in just 3 hours on the ALTTPR League will be Did You Check Your Boot versus Forfeiters Are Us, Werf Jig and Humbug, piloted by Tam and Recidador. And on Speed Gaming 5 will be Spherefinity versus CLW, P-Train versus Pika Pals, piloted by Sabotender and Swerve. So that's all for us this afternoon. Be sure to follow Speed Gaming 2 through 6 to see all of the league action as well as all the other tournaments and races going on, and our friends in the ALTTPR League for exclusive ALTTPR League matches. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, y'all.